should make a product. Sometimes the product is laughing.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, enjoyment is a product, just like enjoying your life.
Well, I do spend time to laugh. I think I laugh hard every day. Not everybody laughs, by the way. There are people that don't laugh. I asked my former chair, do you ever like have a belly laugh to the point you cry? And she said no. Like, really? You don't laugh like that?
No, I do. I mean, like, not right now. There's nothing to laugh at, but...
I feel upset. I think if you're laughing at me so hard that you're crying, I think that made me feel bad. So in this study, it was actually a real study. It was done by Mythbusters. A researcher named Carey took in subjects into 3 different rooms. And so there's your 3 rooms. In 2 of the rooms, she had given a yawn seed. So as she's bringing the subject to a room, and they were subjects that were, they asked me in this exploration if it's a random sample or not. Probably not. It's probably a convenient sample because they were the people who were around and readily available to run the study. But she'd give them a yawn seed, meaning that she herself would yawn as she was bringing this person into the room. I mean, you yawn just by talking about it.
I know, I was trying to hold it back.
And then in this 3rd room, there was a no yawn seed. So people were shuttled to these different rooms, and then the subjects were randomly assigned to which room they went to. So there was some randomization in this design. So I kind of like skipping over the research question. What's the research question first?
Is yawning contagious?
Is yawning contagious? So there's something you want to know. The second thing is, what are the explanatory variables and the response variables? What is it they're trying to do here with their study design? So you need to already have a study design for the explanatory and the response. So why don't you give me the response variable?
Does the person yawn like who they're looking at?
So they're recording the yawn of the subjects they brought in. That's the response. Did the person yawn or not? What's the explanatory variable?
The yawn seed in that scenario, because it's like the person that's purportedly instigating like, the yawn.
Right. So more formally, the yawn seed would be assigned a value of 1 or 0, yes or no. That's the explanatory. And whether the subject yawned would be yes or no, that would be the response. You have a wrinkle. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah.
What's a null hypothesis?
Ooh, never even happened.
No yawns, right?
Yes.
So,
What about it's just like happening by chance?
yeah, that if they're yawning, it's happening by chance alone. So kind of never happens, or it's happening by chance, I think is a better way to say that. So yawning is not contagious. Right?
Yes.
No, I think it,
Wait,
you're just giving it up on me,
What is the alternative hypothesis? Well, the opposite of that yawning is contagious. Got it? So we'd have to put that inside. Now, everybody's yawning in here. It's easy to yawn here. The hardest thing is when you're not supposed to yawn, like you're at a brief. I don't want to yawn tonight. I'm going to be really dead tired tonight.
You got a brief?
Yeah, we got the 4-star journalist speaking tonight at the Thayer Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so now instead of 1 pie, you have 2 pies. And I put a little index on it to let me know which proportion I'm looking at. So they're shoved into these different rooms. We've got the no seed group and the seeded group. So there's 2 groups. So there's going to be 2 proportions. My husband's actually a computer programmer, and he helped me once coding, and he asked me why I use a Greek letter for everything without any rhyme or reason. So I call one beta 1, the next one beta 2, and he's like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, it's supposed to mean number of lions that went to this, and he's like, why don't you call that variable lions then, instead of calling it beta? So that's why you name it whatever. The pies stand for the proportion, in the hypothesis. It's the long run proportion, and the index is supposed to be which group it stands for. So Major Adams actually said that this was a problem, that people didn't index things, and he tells his students to index it right. with the name of it because I'll call it pi 1, pi 2, and then forget what they were about. Good? So if I was going to put it mathematically, the yawning is not contagious would mean the proportion that yawned when they were exposed to the seed were the same as the proportion that responded when they were not exposed to this seed. That's a little harder to do to put it into formal language like that. That's how you write it. And the alternative hypothesis would be the people that were given the yawn seed, the proportion would be higher than the proportion that weren't exposed to the yawn seed. Make sense? Definitely contagious in here. All right. There's also two statistics to compute in the sample. The first is that you have a yawn seed in your sample in the 2 rooms that you had in there, and that you don't have a yawn seed, the other group. And so this is what ended up happening. There were 34 subjects that went to the first 2 rooms. They were exposed to a yawn seed, and 11 of the 34 actually had yawned as in response. And in the 3rd room, 3 out of 16, so 16 were shuttled into the 3rd room, and 3 of them yawned. So what I'd like you to do is fill in this table by taking boards. Because now I knew you're yawning.